And we heal it with humor because laughter is always the best medicine. How you feel? What is going on with this light? See, I just said it. Now I'm jinxing myself. I just said that this light or this tripod is going to be acting up. I spoke it into existence.
Yeah. So I am B. I'm also known as Magoon. Um, and as Ashley stated, we are here to help you heal. We're here to help you get on the right path that is set for you by Spirit. We are doing all of these things for you. And you may see me go through so many different gifts because that's how Spirit will want me to use, or what Spirit will have me to use at that given moment in time. Um, and again, if this is your first time, this is not my natural voice. So don't if you come in later, a few months later, my voice has changed. This is why. So thank you all.
Bear with us, okay? B has been working. He's been putting in that elbow grease, working overtime. I've been seeing so many alerts for videos. So, that was my story, wasn't it? I know it.
I'm trying to get on the live.
I've been seeing so many alerts for videos. So
you see, it's just playing.
That was my story.
All right, I'm gonna cut this one down. There we go.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane. Oh my goodness.
It's such a lag. It's yeah. But we're here. We're live.
Listen, that may be something that's transcended over this way too, because I've been having so many technical issues all day. So that's definitely not just a B thing. That's been happening with me too. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Did you want to do the conversation first, or you want to start with the cards? It's up to you.
We can start with the cards. We can start with the cards tonight. Ashley and I have not spoken. I want everyone to know this. So whatever comes out is coming out. As I like to say, hot off the press. But as we're talking about trying to find the person that is spiritually aligned with ourselves, we must first have to understand who we are. We must have to first understand, excuse me, what types of things we need to heal. We have to understand, are we even ready for them? Right? We can always say, oh, my person isn't ready for me. No, are you ready for your person? Um, and I was thinking about that because over the course, I would say over the last few months, well, mainly 2 months, yeah, I've been meeting different people, right? And the conversation has always been, I don't understand why relationships don't work for me. I don't understand why I've fallen in love with somebody. Like, this is, I can see myself being with this person, but now I don't. And it's not even a month. And the part is, um, we have to understand that sometimes we can be going through a spiritual awakening, a spiritual battle, some sort of a spiritual growth where it's not time for us to be in a relationship. And it's important for us to understand what season we are in. And so I'm actually going to pull out a few cards to kind of help us understand what season the collective is in right now. Because if we don't understand what season we're in, we can have the person that we're meant to be with, and we may push them away for not recognizing that we are the ones that need to be worked on right now. So I'm going to pull a few time cards, and then I'm using my spiritual AF cards tonight. Um, I was gonna grab a deck, and Spirit said no, the cards are already there. So I said okay, I'm gonna go with those cards. Um, so yeah, and Ashley, feel free to say anything as I'm shuffling.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited you guys are joining us. As I said earlier, before Bessie was able to join us, make sure you guys have your pen and paper. Make sure you guys have your pen and paper. You are ready to take notes for tonight, because a lot of you guys that are just joining us could never make the connection with astrology and numerology to relationships. I know a lot of you guys have known or know what your sun sign is. You might even know what your Venus is. You might have heard about the term numerology and what it entails and all the details, but how to connect them with relationships and build from that foundation is groundbreaking. So you guys are definitely going to want to make sure you take notes on tonight's topic. We're going to save it, but it helps for you guys to take cliff notes just to make sure you guys are not missing anything. And it's going to help you with your relationships in all aspects, not just romantic, platonic, business, everything, because astrology is ethereal. It goes beyond what our minds can even concept. Like it's so intricate, guys. It's like your fingerprint. Like it's so intricate. So make sure you guys are taking notes and make sure you guys are listening. Make sure you guys are liking. Make sure you guys are sharing once the video is uploaded so that we can get this message out to the masses so that people can understand, understand, and overstand how to make their relationships work.
Yes.
Right?
So I do have a few cards here. Um, if you call Ashley and I a friend, even if it's a virtual friendship, I want to say that the first card is number 11, and it says, listen to friends. So for some of you, you have some friends that guide you the right way, but you're like, should I listen to them or no? Yes. A real friend will always have your best interest at hand. A real friend will tell you when you're right, will tell you when you're wrong, will tell you when, girl, I wanted to do it too. Man, I wanted to do it too, but I had to turn the other cheek. Um, so there are certain things that maybe your friends have seen in the person or persons that you have been interested in, and it's something that you're not seeing. Go to that friend, those friends, and ask them, what have you noticed about the people that I have been attracting? What have you noticed that I'm not seeing that you couldn't tell me immediately that's not the one for you, but later the relationship didn't work out? What is it that you saw that I didn't? Because in that you can find a pattern that that you're performing in, that you're operating in. You may not, excuse me, you may not necessarily see the pattern, because when you're in the pattern, you're not going to see the pattern, right? When you're in the maze, you're not looking from a bird's eye view. You just see blockages and openings. Your friends are there to guide you. So listen. All right. The next card that came out is the Gemini card. And it says 3 weeks or 3 months. Search for exchange. So for some of you, in 3 weeks and 3 months, look for some sort of energetic exchange that you have with somebody. You could be having, the person could be in part of your life and you don't know, but then all of a sudden it's like out of nowhere, it's just like, oh wow, like you really have been in my life for some time. But now I'm starting to see something different. Now I'm starting to notice some differences that I have not noticed before. Look for those exchanges, those energetic exchanges. Now, if it's bad, run. Don't try to don't try to say the person. Just be like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. About that. Let's take a rain check. And you might want to take a rain check. How that person shows up on the other aspect of your life. Like if it's a coworker, maybe you might want to separate yourself from that coworker, right? The next card that came out is Times of Life. You reflect the world reflects you. So, what is it about your current energy and space that you're noticing? Um, the best way for me to kind of the visual that I have right now is of a plant. So when when you put the sunlight on a plant, the plant goes that way towards the sun. And when you move it, say it's the other side of the plant that's now facing the sun, it will reach out to the sun. The plant moves according to the placement of the sun. Ironically, there is a sun on this card. So it's like whatever you're the sun for your life. The things around you, the world around you will start to gravitate toward you. What are the things that are gravitating towards you? What type of people, what type of opportunities are gravitating towards you? You may say, I'm not going to be that cat lady, and every time I turn around there's cats following behind me. Understand what that means. It doesn't mean the term that we call, the cat lady. There's some type of spiritual meaning as to why that is. Look at what it is for you. Don't stop. We have to stop missing the spiritual clues that spirit gives to us, because those are the ways and the reasons that we can pick up on those that are meant to be in our lives, because they will start to mirror the things around us, especially, and I'm picking this up right now, especially if you're into the yin and yang energy. You have to understand that that person's going to balance you out
Mm-hmm.
in all areas of your life. So you may be like the most unorganized person there is, and your person will be the most organized. And like, babe, I love you, but I need you to sit down and tell me what needs to go where, when does it need to go there, and how, so that while you doing your thing, I can do mine and help you and help us by helping you. There we go. That's how it came to me. The last card for the time is the Taurus card. And it says create a structure, 2 weeks, 2 months. So for some of these things that's happening in your life, you have to create some sort of structure. And I just said, given that last example, if you're the most unorganized person, structure your way, your daily habits, structure your life in a way where it will create a structure of organization. Because what will happen is um as you are organizing your life, the people that need to be a part of your life will start to see you in a different way. Like, oh, she used to be the most unorganized person. He used to be late all the time. Now I'm seeing the efforts, and now he's always early. Now she's always organized. Let me look at this person. What type of changes are they making? because now it's starting to be attractive to them, because maybe that was the one thing that they didn't care for. And it's like, oh, I will go with this person, but it's just that one thing. And going back to my what I was saying about the in the earlier conversations, there were people that I met, and in conversation with them, I'm like, wow, they have such a beautiful spirit. They are so talented. But you know what hinders them from me? They don't know who they are. They don't know what like, I'm not going to say what they could bring, but if when you don't know who you are, you will reach and grasp for any and everything. You will try, you're overcompensating for something that you don't even have to. When you understand that you're not a chocolate and strawberries person, but you are a s'mores with Doritos crumbled on top of it, that's how you want to be. I don't know where that came from, but I promise you, I just saw it, girl. I just saw it. But when okay, but when you understand that that's you, you can tell your person, baby, I know that we just met. I know February 14th is coming up. Um, Instead of getting me chocolate covered strawberries, give me the s'mores with the blue Doritos crumbled on top. That's what I want. If you gonna do something for me, and that person may look at you like, okay, but they're gonna understand that's who you are, right? Because a lot of people, when they get in relationships, they don't know who they are themselves, and they expect the other person to kind of fill in the gap. And so, okay, and for those of you who are not part of the LGBTQ plus community, um I apologize for being graphic, but this is the best way to kind of to kind of share, like, okay, so with gay men, we know that there's a top, we know that there's a bottom, there's a giver and there's a receiver, right? If you know that you're not a receiver, why are you marketing yourself as a receiver? Why would you say, "Oh, I want the," when you know that's not what you want? And so you subject yourself to these things, and then you're feeling uncomfortable. Now you're like you having an identity crisis, because now the whole world in your community, your local community, know you as the bottom, when really you're the top, or vice versa, right? And I have to say it that way because we all know, in that sense we know, right? But it's like, why are you right? Okay, well, okay, and if you didn't know, now you know. But okay, so you can't market yourself one way and then get in a relationship and this person is expecting that, and now you're not able to deliver, because now the person feels like they've been duped. And on the flip side, you're trying to keep up with appearances and keep up with a status that you're not. And I guess you could say it's like sort of like keeping up with the Joneses. If you know you can't make the payment, the $2,000 payment, don't purchase that car. Don't purchase that house. That's going way above your means. And now when you can't deliver, people are looking at you like, what's going on? Why are you not able to keep up? I just heard, can you keep up? Come on, Destiny's Child. Um, right. It's like you can't keep up because you're playing a role that you know you're not. I'm about to say something, and it's going to anger a few people, but it's the same as when I see Egyptian movies and all the characters are white. But there we go.
Talk about it.
Um, Now I'm using the my hemp deck. It's my hemp oracle deck. The first card that I have, yep, is Iku, transformation. So for some of you all, you are going through a transformation right now. And as you're going through a transformation, that means you are very vulnerable. It means you're in the cocoon, right? And we all know that once the butterfly comes out the cocoon, they have to let their wings air dry before they can begin to use them. So even if you're at the end of your transformation, you're still not ready for that person because your body now has to become accustomed to what is new. Your new normal has to catch up with who you are. So you're still not ready for that person. The next thing is the witch doctor, and it says wisdom. You must now start to use wisdom. Again, the first card was what is it? It said listen to friends. Listen to your friends. See what they're saying. You have to use the wisdom the knowledge of the wisdom of the people around you, as well as the wisdom that spirit will give you at this time. And that will allow you to determine who is for you and who is not. Is this something that you really can compromise with the person? Or can you compromise with this thing or no? And if it's a no, don't try to make it fit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on several. Okay, for those who didn't know, I worked in sex, so I consider myself like a sex therapist of sorts, right? So I'm oftentimes in a lot of conversations, and this is across the spectrum. People are having conversations about men who have big penises, right? Do you want them? Can you take it? Can you handle it? People only want me for my penis, but they can't handle it. So then it's a wasted conversation. Understand what is your limits. Understand when a person is really for you and when they want something from you. Understand if this person, has been out there, and this is going to be the flip side of this, right? You understand that this person has a reputation. Let me put it that way. And people are like, oh, well, don't go with that person because that they said that he was out there, he was a stripper, and he did this, that, and the third, and da 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 da. Well, are you going to have a problem because this man was a stripper? Can you handle the fact that he has a genuine attraction for you and you have a genuine attraction for him, but are you going to now ask him to quit his bread and butter because you feel uncomfortable, because you have an insecurity about yourself? I don't know why there was a switch there, but there was a flip. So maybe somebody's dealing with this. The next card, and it's in reverse, which means that there's some people who really, 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 really need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. And it says duro ille, compassion. I think I kind of just hint on that a little bit. So you have to show compassion to not. I'm gonna show it to you upright, but it came upside down, or in the reverse, I should say. You have to show compassion for yourself, and you have to show compassion for those that are already in your life. I feel like that card is for people who are dealing with someone. You have to really show compassion. You can't be the it person so much that you lose your humanity. There are a few people that will be like, um, okay, I'm gonna take this, and this is no dig at her at all. I actually like her, so I'm gonna. For those who don't know her, I'm gonna try to find another analogy. But for those who know, like the ex housewife of Atlanta, star Nene Leakes, like there was a part in her relationship with her now deceased ex husband, um, who, where it looked like she just didn't care for him, right? But that was how the cameras depicted her life.
Mhm.
She said, no, I actually love my husband. And then when he developed cancer, we start to see the compassion, the true compassion, right?
Mhm.
And I'm saying that because in your day-to-day life, you can be the it person, right? You can be the person that people look up to. You could be the beauty star. You could be the rock star. You could be, the well fame. Hey, let's even go back to the stripper. You could be that popular stripper, right? You could have that OnlyFans, whatever, no judgment here, right? We listen and we don't judge. Amen. So,
Amen.
but the thing is, you can't forget about the person who is there for you at the end of the night when the lights go off, when the cameras go, and the camera crew go home, and you on vacation and you have your private times, when you have your moments of frustration, you can't forget about the person who was there for you. Okay? You had to realize that you have to show compassion to them just as much as they show compassion to you. And we have to stop this, oh, well, in my past this person did that to me. And no, 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 sweetie, you have to understand you're in something new now. You can't bring that old drama with you in this new one. You can't allow your past previous demons and thoughts and fears to haunt you in something new. You're not, that means you weren't ready to be with this person. And so when they leave, now you all up in a tizzy because you're like, oh my gosh, I actually love that person, but they're no longer here. Well, that's because you were not ready to handle certain things, and you
Mhm.
have to be in this season.
I
Uh,
agree.
the next card was Quada Marwa, initiation. So again, for some of you, you have been going through a spiritual awakening, an initiation, and it's not time for you to be looking at a relationship. You may want to. I'm being led to go to, where's that? Oh, here it is. Yeah, the search for exchange, the Gemini card. So, what I'm picking up is that as you're going through your initiation, you have to start, you're going to be, what they say, is spiritually, oh gosh, I can't think of the word, y'all. But you're gonna be so sensitive. There we go. I should know that word. You're gonna be so sensitive in the spiritual realm that when people start to come towards you, you're going to be sensitive as to why they are there. You're going to sense when somebody has a negative aura, negative, and is bringing negative energy to you. You're going to actually start to feel it. In the vice versa, when someone's bringing you true joy, you're going to be able to decipher the reals from the fakes, and maybe you weren't able to before, but now you will. And it's because you are going through this initiation. And even after the initiation, you're going to be, like I said earlier, that full butterfly where you're going to be like, oh, no, 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 no. um, for Red Fox fans, I just saw Aunt Esther. She said, you old sucker. So, you know, it's that thing. It's like you're gonna be able to call out a player from the Himalayas to, your person. You be like, no, no, sir. You only want one thing. Go get you a Playboy magazine and go on and got my face, okay? Because I'm not the one. Like I'm hearing that. Some of y'all ladies are like, I'm not the one. And for you fellas, it's just like, no, trick. Get out the way. Move. I said, you only want me for my dollar. You only want me for my hustle. And no, I can't get that to you because um that's mine. It's not yours, right? And on both sides of the coin, There are people that come into your lives because they feel like they come in with the, oh, everything you own is mine.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working 30 plus years for this. How you gonna come in on the last 2 minutes from yesterday to tell me that everything I did the past 30 is yours? We clearly are not the same. So now the last two cards from the spiritual AF deck. The first one says, pretending to be a savage won't heal that hole in your heart, baby. And I already said that when I was talking about the compassion. And it says, you know who the real OGs are? The ones who ain't got shit to hide from anyone, especially themselves. Real OGs, real OGs claim their humanity. They hold those wounds up to the light like Mufasa holding Simba. Can you hear the inspirational music starting? Yeah, that's you starting the hero's journey, love bug. So again, you have to be real with who you are. That fictitious, oh, I'm I'm the one, I'm the only one, um that thing where you can't be told nothing. That thing where you say you can't compromise because it's all for me or not at all. Right? No, in a relationship it's two of you. That means you have to bring a half of who you are, and the other half has to come from the other person, and y'all have to mingle that in. That the rest of the half that you have has to be put down, right? And if you can't put it down and it's got to be you 100% of the time, then baby, stay out that man inbox, stay out that girl's inbox. Just leave because you're not ready. You're not ready. The next one says, accept the good in your life and know you're a fucking delight. Um, Before I read the back of it, I had a conversation with someone. If you're watching, uh, you came up. That's all I'm gonna say. And I told this person, you deserve everything good that is happening to you, because even in relationships there are some people who have the imposter syndrome. They feel like they cannot and they do not deserve a true love. They feel like they do not deserve the person of their dreams. And so they go for the low hanging fruit. Baby, sometimes you need that golden apple at the very top of the tree because that one has the most vitamin C, because that's what you need during this time. You sometimes I'm getting it this way too. So sometimes you may be like, I don't need somebody who's so direct because we might come head to head. No, you actually might need that person in your life because that person is the only person that will understand you and give you enough grace to allow you to be you while also making sure that you're 100% you 100% of the time. That may be the person that is capable of holding you down the way you need to be held down. So that's where we get into the wants and the needs. You may want one thing, but you may actually need the opposite.
Right.
And you have to understand that although you may have been attracted to, um so I'm literally seeing hood chick. I'm literally seeing the street thug, right? Because that's what most people like tend to go for. It's like that rah rah, right? But maybe spirit is saying, but that's not who you are anymore. I need you to go towards that peaceful person. I need you to go. I don't know why I'm hearing Dr. Spock right now. That's Dr. Spock is really weird and really nerdy. So let me show for those who don't know. So it may be that you like, I don't understand why I like this nerd. I don't understand why I like this heavily scientific person. This is not my typical, and that is why. That is why you see so many different couples who last who are completely opposite. Now I'm gonna read you the back of the card. It said, once you notice the good shit going on in your life, more good shit starts happening. It's like a magnet or a dung beetle. Fun fact, once a dung beetle gets a little nub of poop, he runs around with it and more poop sticks to it and grows and grows. Goodness is like that. So, again, you deserve the goodness, and especially if you're transitioning into a life of prosperity, and you're noticing that what you normally are attracted to are people that want to take and not pour. Go to the person who is pouring into you. It doesn't matter if you're of different wealth status or not. If that person has taken a liking to you and is truly investing in you, that means very well that that could be your person. And while we're on the topic, just because the person may have uh, make lesser money than you, it doesn't mean that that person does not have the capability of maintaining wealth. It may be that
Right.
that's where they are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
look how many stars we've seen where they were like, there's it's very rare, but there are a few stars that said they're still with the person that was in the gutter with them.
Yep. Rags to riches.
Right. It's like, no, babe, I was with you from the beginning. We're gonna do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if we want
Mm-hmm.
to take it to oh gosh, what I forgot the I should be ashamed of myself. But with Cookie and Lucius Lions, right? And the Lions Den. Even with that
Good
show,
show.
right? Even with that show, they showed you that even though they were separated, they had a bond that lasted. They had a bond because they knew that they could work together. They knew each other's work ethics, although they had their problems, right? I'm not saying to be in a relationship with a lot of problems at work. What I am saying is be with somebody, even though you may not be on the same level, if you see that they have the same drive as you, that same mindset, that mentality, that mentality that says, babe, I'm a king on the rise and you may be a queen, but baby, he's still a king, right?
Mm-hmm.
He may just have a
Mm-hmm.
smaller kingdom right now, but he's still a king. He still knows how to rule, work with the man, work with the woman,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So don't be so high and mighty that you miss your blessing, you miss your person. And that's all.
That's right. That's right. And I like the example you use. And now it's gonna bug me until I figure out what show that was. I want to say it was
Empire.
Encore,
It's
but that wasn't
Empire.
it. Empire, yeah.
It
I
just
knew it
came
started
to
with an E. I knew it started with an E. It wasn't Encore. That is so true. And I think about LeBron and Savannah. I think about Steph Curry and all of these, athletes, entertainers, whatever you want to call them, and how they have stuck with the person that was by them when they got it out the mud before they were even a household name. So that's why it's so important to know who you're with and understand that no matter what happens, if you have a solid person with you, you guys are going to get through it. Whatever, however, you're going to weather the storm. Just make sure you have the right people around you. And I wanted to touch on something because it's been so much hoopla about this whole thing with uh, tonight's conversations podcast. And I just want to touch on that briefly. And no matter where you fall on the podcast spectrum, whether you listen to tonight's conversations or not, or whether you don't listen to any podcast at all, I just want to briefly touch on that because it is very important for you to make sure that you guys are getting sound advice from people that are healed. And I'm not saying that the people on that podcast are unhealed. I'm just saying that you have to remember at the end of the day, these are people, these are men, these are women. And when the lights go out, they're black, okay? they're humans, so you
They're
can't
human.
expect them to be, just because they have this platform, to be held on a pedestal and to be perfect, because nobody's perfect. And that's why I love astrology. This is what I'm getting to. I love astrology and I love numerology, because no matter what I think, no matter what my opinion is, this shit was written. Like Nas said, it was written before I was a speck in my mother's eyes. So it doesn't matter how much trauma I've been through, how many times I've been lied to, hurt, used, and abused. What I am delivering to you, because we're just the messengers. We didn't write this. Mm-hmm. This was already written. No matter how and what we deliver to you, you go and look this up for yourselves. Like, this is ethereal information, straight from the 5D, okay? Straight from the stratosphere. So this is not our opinions. This is not what we think is right. This is just what it is. And this is why I love astrology and numerology. So I say all of that to say, just be careful who you're getting information from. The copywritten truth. You're going to take it there. You're going to take it there.
Yes, ma'am.
I got you, okay? You got me all giddy now. You're going to take it there? Okay, yeah, it's the copywritten truth. And it's so true, because, people want to say this, that, and the third about astrology, but I have yet to be proven wrong when it comes to astrological transits. I have yet to be proven wrong when I am studying something and I am pinning it and I am connecting the dots, and it leads back to astrology. So this brings us to our conversation segment. And as I said earlier, we are diving into an exciting topic on how to choose the right life partner. So I hope you guys are still awake and ready to get this download, because I'm coming. Are you ready? Because I'm coming. All right. So this is whether you're in a relationship or whether you're still searching for your soulmate. Okay. Understanding these powerful systems can give you valuable insight into your compatibility. All right. So let's get into it. So first things first, I'll pop them. Freeze all the honey, gummies, Playboy bunnies, those and money. I always want to do that when I say that. Okay. First things first, astrology and numerology are ancient systems that help us understand our personalities, strengths, and challenges. Okay. So like I said, this was already written. Way before we were born, this was already written. Astrology gives us insights through our birth charts, and numerology breaks down the meaning of our birth dates into numbers that reveals aspects to our life's journey, okay? So in astrology, we'll look at your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign, right? The sun is the core of who you are. Your moon sign rules your emotions, and I like to say that your rising is who people see. It's like your representative. It's who people meet before they get to really know who your sun is. So your rising is like your representative, but it's still a big aspect to your personality. So don't think that that's just like who people think you are. Like, your rising makes up a huge part to your personality, okay? So these three key points that guide your emotional, external, and inner world. These are the three key points that guide your emotional, external, and your inner world. Now, in numerology, we'll focus on your life path number, which is derived from your birthday, and it shows your overall life purpose. So knowing what your life purpose is and knowing what your partner's life purpose is paramount, because then you can compare the two and see if they intersect, to see if they're compatible, to see if it's harmony between the two. If this person is supposed to be chasing money, and you're supposed to be chasing money, where's the common ground? When do you guys finally come together and say, okay, now we can build? Okay, so it has to be that common ground. Now, that's not to say that two money chasers can't make it work, because look at J and B. They're making it work. But I'm just saying, once you know what your purpose is and what you are here to do, then you have to build off of that, because remember, we're trying to leave something for the generation coming after us. We're not just building just to build. We're building for the generation that's coming behind us, okay? So astrology, when we are looking at astrology, when we are trying to find our partner, not perfect partner, our partner, because nobody's perfect, here are some key compatibility points to consider. when we're looking at a potential partner. The sun sign. As I said, the sun sign is your core, the essence of who you are. It's what people see once they get to know you. Like that person is definitely a Cancer. Like they good in the kitchen. They love being around their family. They got 15, 20 kids. Like that look like a Cancer. Okay. Sometimes you can just point out a Cancer. You just know a Cancer when you see one. Okay. I'm looking at a Cancer right now. I know that's a Cancer.
For those who is looking, I'm single. I'm on the market. I'm just saying. I even got it on tonight, so y'all can see it. It says Cancer right here. So thank you.
Ew. Let me know where you got that from, so I can pick one up for Sagittarius.
Okay.
All right. So, but here again, you need to look beyond this one factor. Because this is just the sun. This is your core essence. This has nothing to do with your emotions, your love language, how you move and assert yourself, your Mars. This is just your sun. So this goes beyond the sun. There's levels to this. Opposite signs can create balance. Sometimes opposites attract. I've seen it plenty of times, like Taurus and Scorpio, or Leo and Aquarius. While the same element signs like fire and fire create natural chemistry, such as Aries and Sagittarius, or Sagittarius and Sagittarius, or Sagittarius and Leo. Okay, now your moon sign represents your emotional needs. So a partner with a compatible moon sign can help you feel emotionally fulfilled. For instance, a Cancer moon would be compatible with a Pisces moon, or a Pisces moon would be compatible with a Scorpio moon, all right, because that's all water. Now, it's also important to know that water is also compatible with Earth, okay? So a Pisces moon could be compatible with a Taurus moon, or a Capricorn moon can be compatible with a Pisces moon, okay? That's also good to know. Whereas the Libra rising, I'm sorry, I'm going ahead of myself. Now we're getting into the rising signs. The rising sign is the mask you wear to the world. Compatibility in the rising signs can determine how you both present yourself as a couple to others. For instance, a Libra rising may be drawn to a Sagittarius rising, as both signs love adventure and social interactions. That's interesting. That just made me think about something. I'll get into it later. Okay. So astrology is all about finding a balance between your strengths and your weaknesses. Because when I do my compatibility readings between two people, and the person that I'm doing the reading on, and they're like, oh my God, we have so many differences. It's about finding the similarities and the differences. And it's about learning how you guys can build from being different. What can you learn from this person? Because you know what you need to know about yourself, because you know yourself. Now that you have the information, I've given it to you, you know who you are. Now, what can you learn from your partner? What can your partner teach you? This is why compatibility tests are so important, because you can know what someone tells you. You can know what someone chooses to reveal to you, but having that report in front of your face, that 25 to 27 page report in front of your face, is vital. It's vital because it tells you exactly how they love, exactly how they communicate, exactly how they move, how they work. What are their fears? What are they attracted to? Would you not want to know that? Would you not want to have a cheat sheet in front of you? Or do you just want to just wing it and say, okay, well, I'll just see how it's going to go? No, be ahead of the game. Up the ante and get that compatibility reading. All right, now let's look at numerology. So numerology gets into your life path number, okay, which is the most important number in your numerology chart. And it's calculated by adding the digits of your birthday until you get a single number. For example, if you were born January 7th, 1990, you add 1 plus 7 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 0, which equals 27. And then and then the 2 plus 7, which equals 9. So that means your life path would be number 9. And then you find out what life path 9 is here to do. I'm life path 8. So I am here to create abundance. Are you 4?
Yep.
Oh, it's Kai. Kai is 4 too. So you guys are all about what is it? You guys are the peacemakers, and you're good with like setting a tone and creating like a warm and peaceful environment. I love fours because fours are usually compatible with a lot of the other life path numbers. You know, 1 and 8 gets a little tricky because it's like we're headstrong, but 4 is like really compatible with all the life path numbers. So I love fours because fours are like, you know, fours can get in where they fit in anywhere. So that's always good to know. So make sure you guys know your life path numbers too. Yep. That's very important in figuring out what your life path is on this planet. All right. Because each number from 1 to 9, unique trait influence your relationship compatibility. For instance, let's get into 1 through 4. I'm gonna just give you all a little sneak peek of 1 through 4 life path numbers. So 1, independent, ambitious, and leadership driven. A partner who can support their goals while giving them space is essential. I know 2 life path 1s. They are headstrong. They are leaders. It's hard to tell them what to do, and it's hard to convince them otherwise. Similar to a Taurus. So if you are dating a life path 1, or if you're a life path 1, you need to have a partner that is okay with giving you space, okay letting you lead, okay letting you take the lead the majority of the time. If you're a life path 1 or if you're dating a life path 1, that is essential to know. Life path 2, sensitive, loving, and supportive. Life path 2s are the happiest with a partner who values harmony and who can reciprocate their nurturing nature. Life path 3, creative, communicative, and optimistic. They need a partner who can match their energy and support their creative endeavors. Life path 4 is stable, practical, hardworking. Life path 4s are drawn to partners who are equally grounded and value security. Okay, so if you're a life path 4, you value security, that Taurus energy, stability. You need a partner who is going to be hardworking and who is equally hardworking as you. Not just hardworking, but works just as hard as you.
I think what I think is ironic is because I know I'm a 4, but my love sign is in Taurus.
Taurus, yeah.
So it's like that double grounded energy.
What house is, well, I'll check that later just so I don't give nobody no heads up on your information. Because that can get intricate, like I said. Like when you deep dive into your birth charts, like it tells you exactly how you love, down to the very T. So I'll say that when we're off camera, just in case you don't want certain things to be said online. All right, so understanding each other's life path numbers can reveal how your energies align in relationships. It's important to choose a partner who complements your life purpose and who offers balance. You don't need to be exactly the same, but the energy should flow naturally. It should flow naturally. Like I have yet to see 2 life path 1s have a static free relationship. But here again, if you know better, you do better. So if you know that you are both headstrong, you both want to take the lead, that should tell you both, sometimes you got to be the teacher, I'll be the student. Because you know you both are headstrong. Okay, you know what? You take the lead on this one, I'll fall back. When you know better, you do better. That's why it's important for you guys to know this information so that you guys don't bump heads. Don't be a bull in a china shop. When you know better, you do better. All right. Where was I? So combining astrology and numerology for compatibility. Let's get into that. So let's talk about how you can combine both systems, because even though they work separately, you can combine them to where they are working simultaneously together. And they're working for the greater good of you, for the greater good of your partner, for the greater good of your partnerships, your relationships. You can combine them to where they're working for you. For instance, a Virgo sun and a Pisces sun might initially seem like opposites, okay? Because Virgos, what is the number one thing Virgos are known for? Being strategic, being analytical, knowing how to build from the ground up. Pisces. They're usually in the clouds. No offense to Pisces, I love Pisces. I have a best friend that's a Pisces, K. M. So I love Pisces, but they're usually like always dreaming. They're always looking through rose-colored glasses. So when you see these two as opposites, one might think, okay, like what could they have in common? Because they're opposites. One's earth, one's water. But their emotional compatibility, their moon signs, and their life path numbers can make them a perfect match. As I always say, it goes beyond the sun. It goes beyond the sun. I've seen a Leo and a Scorpio make it work. Why? Because they had compatible moon signs. Their moon signs were both water signs. So even though the fiery Leo was with this watery Scorpio and people thought that they weren't going to last past 2 weeks, I think they both had Pisces moon. So they understood each other on an astrological level, on an emotional level, on an eternal, ethereal level. It goes beyond the sun sign, guys. It goes way beyond the sun. Okay, so let's look at practical tips for choosing the right life partner. And I have included these. These are my personal tips. So look at the sun and the rising sign. See how these elements align with your partner's chart. I even like when you guys have your charts like down, like right in front of you, and you're looking, okay, what's my moon sign? What's his moon sign? What's my Mars? What's his Mars? What's my Venus? Because I'm telling you, that's the best way to figure out, are you guys going to be compatible? And what hiccups or what hills you guys are going to have to climb over together in order to make it work. Okay? Also, explore your life path numbers. Understanding each other's core life mission to see if you're headed in the same direction is vital. Make sure you guys are headed in the same direction. Even if you're not headed in the same direction, make sure at some point you guys are going to intersect. Pay attention to the energy. How does this person feel? This should be number one. Pay attention to how this person makes you feel. Do you feel calm in front of them? Do you feel anxious? If you feel anxious, something is off, something's not right. Your body always tells you way before you get sick that you're going to get sick. Okay, so listen to your body. Listen to your heart, your gut. Maybe not your heart initially. Listen to your gut. Sometimes your heart has a way of steering you down the wrong path. That's why I always try to stay head above heart. But if you listen to your gut, you won't go wrong. Balance and growth. Remember, compatibility doesn't mean being exactly the same. It means growing together, supporting each other's weaknesses, and celebrating each other's strengths, okay? Choosing the right life partner is a beautiful combination of self-awareness and cosmic alignment. By understanding your astrology and numerology, you can deepen your connections and create a deeper bond that's rooted in mutual respect, growth, and love. All right, guys? So that's all I have for you. I just want to make sure you guys understand, understand, and overstand that it is so important to know these things. And I'm not even going to lie to you. When I first got into reading birth charts, and I started reading one for the person that I was with, it was almost overwhelming because I saw a lot of static in our charts. But then there was light at the end of the tunnel because I was able to transmute that static, and I was able to transmute that energy into something positive and into a learning experience. And I understood, like, for instance, I'll give you this little tidbit. My Mars is not my Mars, my Mercury is in Sagittarius, and their Mercury is in Pisces. So I was always finding, whenever we would communicate, it was always like hitting a brick wall, And they always felt like I was like really like amped up because, Sagittarius energy is fiery. It's in your face. It's bold. It's unapologetic. And so it was hard for us to communicate because Pisces energy is watery. They feel everything. They just want things to just work themselves out most of the time without having to go through the motions and talk and communicate. So it was a point in time where it was just almost nearly impossible for us to communicate. But once I saw that and I understood that that was the way they communicated, we got over that hump. And so moving forward, when I would speak to them, I knew I had to come to them a certain way to get things across to how they would understand it, not just how I understood it or how I used to do it. And it didn't mean changing who I was or shifting my tone. It just meant communicating in a way that they understood. That's what it meant, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that's all I have for you guys. Make sure to get that birth chart reading, okay? I'm telling you guys, you will not regret it. You can never go wrong understanding information about yourself and your loved ones. I have even done birth charts on my children, all of my children, all three of them. So I know exactly what I need to look forward to, uh, work on with them. Like it's essential to get it, guys. So make sure you get it. So before it gets too late, we have come to that time of night where we put tarot to the test and ask B. This is your time to listen, ask B whatever you guys want, whether it be relationship, work, anything, any question you guys have. This is your time to ask B.
And while they're writing their question or getting ready to raise their hand, I want to bring you up a question, bring a question to the floor. And it's mainly because as you were talking, I thought about two friends of mine from app, and I remember when I first met them, they were not dating, but you could feel and see how magnetic they were to each other. And later on, they did decide to start dating. They are now married and have very beautiful family. And I'm bringing it up because a part of the conversation.
About D and K.
Huh?
D and K. Okay.
Okay. No. But I bring it up because when I had a conversation with them, and it was random conversation. It wasn't like I was just talking about how I admired their relationship, and they began to talk about how hard it was for them to start it, and I was like, really? Because everybody could see it. Like, I told them, I said I would almost be shocked if y'all didn't date. And the conversation then became, well, he was dating one of my best girlfriends in high school.
Okay.
And so we didn't want to cross that line of my best friend is now dating my ex.
Yeah.
But it worked for them. And they said that they had to get over that hump. And truly, as an outsider looking in, it was like watching the left hand of one body meet the right hand of the body of that same body, and it's like, how could y'all not see that? Yeah. So for those people who are struggling, because as you was first talking, I was of course thinking about Alicia Keys and her husband. I'm forgive me because I can't think his name right now. I can see him, but I can't think of his name. But I'm like, and a lot of people are always talking about, oh, well, she took him from his ex-wife, and it's like, no, 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 no. You have to understand that some people are better for other people. And so it may seem like a betrayal, but that chart is not going to lie. That destiny is not going to lie. So your person may very well be your bestie's ex. But I wanted to bring it to the floor because I want to know your thoughts.
That's very true. How do you guys feel about that? And does it make a difference if you know the person? Because then it does feel like betrayal. Now, in
Hmm.
Mashonda and Alicia Keys' case, I don't think they knew each other. I think
No.
they were acquainted, I'll say.
Right.
Now, if you know the person and you're friends with them, does that make a difference? Because then it does feel like a betrayal. Like, you know me, you've been in my house, around my family, like, you know my taste in men. That could feel like a betrayal because that person has been around you. So it's almost like you feel like they've been plotting, waiting to pounce on that, you know?
Swiss. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. That's how I feel too, Soraya. There's too many fish in the sea. There's too many fish in the sea. Too close for comfort. Because then it's always gonna be that awkward, uncomfortable elephant in the room. And I don't want to be awkward or uncomfortable around someone who I consider to be my friend, especially if they're a close friend. I don't think it's worth it. But I've seen it happen so many times because people feel like it's not enough men in the world that they got to take someone else's. And it's like, okay, now you took that person and you're going to lose him, how you got him. And then you lost a friend. So you just killed two birds with one stone. But I digress. Look, to each his own. Exactly. What happens if it doesn't work? Then you lost a friend and you lost a lover. So was it work? And you lost yourself. So was it worth it in the end? I never understand that. But like you said, B, sometimes people feel like their soulmate is someone else's husband.
Right. And I mean, and even to that, to their point, they both said like that was their biggest fear, but they were like they couldn't ignore the attraction. They were like we knew, like they were like they went and talked to the like, hey, like we're about to do this thing, but it's like I'm literally attracted to this person. I can't get away from them. And it's like, granted, there's a lot of people.
But does attraction equal compatibility? Does attraction supersede your moral compass? Does attraction mean we should try it out? Or does attraction
But
just mean, listen, I think you're cute, you think I'm cute, okay, that's where it ends. Like,
yeah,
does
so
it mean
yeah,
you have to pursue a relationship?
so that's what I mean. Because okay, and now for an example, so spirit can be messy. We can't deny that spirit can be messy sometimes.
Thank you, Ash.
Right, right. She
Thank you,
said Brad and
Angelina.
Angelina,
Great
exactly.
example,
But
Ash.
and also I want to just bring it to the point. If okay, so we're gonna use, as they say, the ultimate text, right? Even the Bible has some stories. This is like you had them do what? He had a whole prophet marry a prostitute. The man of the cloth, husband's true love,
Oh,
had to be a prostitute.
oh no.
So that's why I'm saying, like, no, no, I'm not blaming spirit. I'm just saying that spirit, right? Spirit can sometimes be because you don't see the ultimate plan, right? And we always say that.
Okay.
So who's to say that your person isn't? Like, do you deny your true love and then like you've been and it's like spirit's like, well, I sent them to you, but because of who they were, you didn't accept them.
Sounds like Warren bashing.
And I'm not woman bashing anybody. She said, well, so
I
yeah,
don't know.
but see, I
That's
know why
okay.
Soraya is saying that, but I want everybody to kind of think about that though, and I'm
Okay.
not saying to go out here and eyeball your bestie's ex
Yeah.
or whoever you are. I'm not saying to go out there and do
Yeah.
that, but if
Yeah.
you know that there is like this strong magnetic thing, at
Yeah.
least have the conversation, have the decency to have that conversation with that
Hmm.
person
Yeah.
and talk about it, because there are a few people that be like, okay, well, I mean, if you think that'll work, go for it.
Now, I do believe, however, be that as it may, I do believe there are some exceptions to the rules to that. And I know we haven't spoke about this publicly yet, but a lot of times when we're talking about twin flame connections,
Mm-hmm.
one or the other is usually in a already established
Relationship.
relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and um, that's when it gets tricky because you're like, okay, well, I can't just turn off these emotions for this person, regardless if they're in a relationship or not. But it's up to me to figure out within myself and within my own moral compass how to navigate these feelings. And that's when one has to decide if they're going to follow the westernized concept of marriage, meaning staying with one person for the rest of their lives, or stay married to one person for the rest of their lives, or whether they're going to be open to the idea of what our ancestors practice, which would be polygyny. So, but that gets into a whole nother Pandora box. Okay, I just wanted to just put that on the floor.
But right.
That would be the exception to the rule. But with that comes with levels as anything. Then you have to say, okay, well, if we're going to do this, the other person has to be aware and has to be down with it too. And I don't mean how people are doing it now, because the way our ancestors practice it, you can't be broke and be in a polygamous relationship. I'm just going to call it how it is. The way our ancestors did it, every wife had their own village, had their own hut, had their own house. The way they're doing it now, they want to all live together and be on each other. And that's just not how our ancestors did it. So what I mean by is when you are in that situation, if you are in a situation, a twin flame connection, and the person is in a relationship or married to someone else, then that's when you guys have to figure out, okay, well, if we're going to make this work, we got to take it back. And we have to all be on one unison. And ain't no, I'm going to go behind her back and we going to do it in secret. No, like everybody has to be aware of what's going on. That's what I'm talking about. Sounds like me.
Right.
Girl, you ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. Now, listen, I'm not saying that I'm with that concept. I'm just telling you what our ancestors practiced. Like they were all, the majority of them were in a polygamous relationship, and the wives had their own houses. And girl, I don't know if I could do it. I'm just telling you, but that's just what they did.
I'll be bailing my best friend out of jail because she done slapped that.
Okay, like
I don't approve.
Listen, it gets tricky because I'll be honest, like we have been indoctrinated into believing that, and this is just my personal beliefs. I know a lot of women are not going to feel this way. Before I say this, just brace yourself, ladies, sit down. We have been indoctrinated to believe that we own the person that we're with. That's our sock, that's our horse, that's our sausage. Like we have been indoctrinated to believe that, and that's not the way it was always practiced. Westernized marriage was brought to us. It wasn't what we practiced. It was forced on us, actually, which is why polygamy is against the law, right? So,
and think about it. Western ways of thinking also had adult men marrying young girls.
Yeah, right.
Like,
which is legal in Greece, by the way. That's legal. That's totally legal for a grown man to marry like an infant or a toddler. So, but yeah, it's a lot that goes into that, and that can be a topic that we discuss on another day. But yeah, I just feel like that we need to experience people. And Lauren London said this because listen, I've come a long way, okay? I used to be, look, you're mine, don't look, don't talk, don't even breathe in the presence of another woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I've come to realize that I don't own anyone. I have to experience them. And that's not a way for anyone to live, because I don't live like that. Having somebody breathing down my neck, clocking my every move. But yeah, so if anybody has a question, hop right in anytime.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I just wanted to
Hop right
talk
in.
as we get the
And
questions.
most men can afford it. You are absolutely right. And a lot of people, a lot of men believe that it's their civic right to have more than one woman, and the woman just cater to them, and they don't have to do anything. They just sit there and just take take in all the coochie they want, and that's not how it goes. Like if you were broke back in the day, you could not have more than one woman. You couldn't have any woman. You had to work, get your paper up, and then you could, see if a woman would consider, taking you on as a husband. So, yeah, the way they're doing it now is just it's so crazy and so disrespectful. The way that they're doing it now, like all living together, all sleeping together, the same bed. It's not conducive to your vagina. Like it really isn't. It's not. The way they do it now is just completely disrespectful to our ancestors and to yourself. It makes me sick too, by the way. So, anyways, but how the hell did we get on that topic?
My question. It was my question.
That's crazy, but I'm with you. Listen, Soraya, I'm with you on that. I don't understand. I respect it, but I don't practice it. Now, a lot of women out here are, unbeknownst to them, that they're in a polygamous relationship. They just don't know it.
I was just about to say that too.
Are already practicing polygamy and don't even know it. So, how about them apples?
But it goes, but that boils down to the guy being real with himself and understanding his limitations. That's where I said lie to me. Yeah, like it understands, like if you understand that you can't be with more, that you can't be with just one person, at least tell that one person that you're talking to, honest, right, give them the power to choose.
By the way, that's something you can find in someone's birth chart. That can be found in their seventh house, the house of relationships, partnerships, what they seek in a partner, what they can give to a partner. Okay, like guys, I'm telling you, it's gonna save you years of heartache knowing what someone's seventh house is in. Yep. My seventh house is in Taurus, so I seek a stable partner, a stable relationship, a partner that I can rely on, that comes through when they have to come, that will leave them with none so they don't lie. Yeah. Yep.
That's true, but on the opposite end of the stick, what's the show? Snapped is real. What's your show, Soraya? What is it? 48 or after life after lockup? That's when those people show up. That's when destiny start to change because people don't know how to be real with each other. Because and I was actually thinking about my grandparents, both sets. I never had that conversation with my paternal grandfather, but my maternal grandmother, baby, she told me some stories, and I looked at her and she said, and how she told me that she was going to handle it, and how God had to stop her, and I said, not my sweet grandmother, not mine. And she said, oh, because she was like, if that's my husband, that's my husband. Don't fix up your lips. Both of them, don't fix up your lips towards my husband. That's how my grandmother was. And I said, oh, okay.
But Bestie, back in those days, a lot of our grandfathers had two homes, had two families. Okay, but they could afford it. And you know what? The women probably knew nothing about it because he was taking care of his responsibilities, and neither of them lacked anything. They didn't lack love. They didn't lack affection. They didn't lack money.
Exactly.
So that's why I said, like, these little dusty busties in this generation, like, they just want all of the, like, the glitz and glamour without having to put in the work.
Right.
And you got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. Otherwise, it's going to, like, look like you just trying to just eat off a bunch of women. So, anyways, if nobody has any questions, because we could just go on and on talking about this, because they do twist the doctrine. They do.
Yeah.
They twist it and they make it work in their favor because they feel like, okay, well, our ancestor did it, so I can do it. But they did it with structure. Okay? They did it with respect, self-respect. They just didn't do it just to just be effing on a bunch of people.
Right.
Like it was to build a kingdom, because the more a man impregnates, the larger the kingdom is. Okay? Together we stand, divided we fall. Eat off a bunch of women. Yeah, pretty much. They were just eating off a bunch of women. How they do it now? And we have no rights to. That's true, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's true. We had to just lay up and stay down. We didn't have rights. So that's a great point too. So it should be a topic for next week, Bestie. I don't know.
Okay. I feel like it's about to be a part 2.
It should be a topic because we all got a lot to say about this. I think we should bring this back next week. We should circle back around and bring this back next week.
Right.
Polygyny and get like our people on the platform to like come in and like give us insight on how they feel about it. Yeah, right, Soraya? I love this topic. Because I'm kind of like, I won't say I'm on the fence. I'll say I understand it and respect it, but I just don't practice it. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, how can you say this? Okay, because I know that our ancestors practiced it. So I can't just be like this with it because I know that they practiced it. I just don't practice it.
No, Ashley, what she's talking about is how men use women for their resources. That's what she means by eating off of them, not that type of eating off of them.
Yeah, not the Diddy picture.
Okay.
Not the Diddy picture. I'm talking about like people like, like men actually coming up off a woman.
Basically. Right.
That's what I'm talking about. So we will definitely bring this topic back next week, and y'all make sure y'all do your research too, because I'm coming. I'm coming hard on this topic. And whenever I come hard on this topic, it will be like, oh no, so that means you want your man. I'm not saying that. I'm just letting you know what our ancestors practiced. I don't practice it, but our ancestors did. So we'll talk more about this next week, guys. And make sure you come with your facts, with your research, with your questions, all of that, because we're going to deep dive in polygyny next week. That's going to be our topic. Right. I don't think we've ever touched on that. I know I did a live with my big brother, Matt D. Talford, years ago talking about it, and he gave his insights and I gave mine. So now we can do one together, and we can even include our collective, which will be amazing. So yes, we'll do that next week, guys. Next week's topic, polygyny. Yep. Come hard. All right, guys. Well, just so you guys know, come back here. We're here every Tuesday, same time, same place. Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussions. We'll see you guys here next week, Tuesday, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for polygyny. Don't be late. I'm so excited. Next week, guys. Peace. Yes, peace. Good night, everyone.